Well, hello, me lords and ladies, and welcome to another episode of our HOCK RPG. First off, I want to say thank you to all my YouTube members. You guys are absolutely amazing. Now, with this specific set, it is a serialized miniature set, and the actual board game itself will be coming out probably later this year, either on Game Found or Kickstarter. You can go and get one of 100 of the serialized sets at www.hawk.store. Type in the code Nerd Nights, and you will get 10% off. Pretty easy video, but without further ado, let's go. Now, this is really for a lot of my old school RPG gamers. What I mean by that, these are metal miniatures. If you played D&D, Warhammer, a lot of those old school miniatures games, they were all in metal. And I thoroughly enjoy the feel of metal more than I feel with plastic. The only good part about plastic is that you can get a lot more detailed. But the weight of a metal miniature is, in my opinion, chef's kiss. Anyways, we're going to scrape off any nasty metallic mold lines. We're going to spray paint in black and then white from above. And now we're going to paint all that skin with some Cadian Fleshtone. For our Elf Ranger's hair, we're going to be doing some Thondia Brown. And if you're kind of wondering what this game is going to be like, it is going to be an RPG game, has some Kingdom Death elements to it, and it's kind of a world of its own. A lot of side stuff going on. Obviously, I've been able to preview this game. Full disclosure, I am related. I am not getting paid or anything like that to promote this. I'm trying to help out a family member. I'll tell you a little bit more about that here in a second. For the top part of the drab, we're going to be doing some Caliban Green. So a lot of where the bust is at. Obviously, this specific character has either well endowed or seen the best doctor west of the Mississippi. It's up to you to decide. Anyways, it is actually a board game company started by my cousin, and that has been his passion. He's been designer on video games and lots of things over the years, and he had since wanted to do this and create his own board games where his passions are at. So everything is its own design. It's no AI, none of that stuff is created, and he's creating the game itself. And we'll keep touching on this as we keep painting. For the bottom portion of the skirt, we're going to be doing some Steel Legion Drab on there. So a little backstory on this. My cousin, the owner of HOCK RPG, started when we were very young. Spent a lot of our summers playing board games, D&D, where his mother was the DM, and that's what really kind of started my love into board gaming, Dungeons and Dragons, whatnot. We also played Warhammer. He was usually Bretonia, and I was the Goblins, and that game was so unbalanced that I would get my butt whipped every game. But I loved it. I loved every second of it. For the boots and the hands, we were going to be doing some Mournfang Brown on there, and a lot for the pouches as well. So as time progressed, him and I played a lot of video games, played a lot of board games. You name it, we had done it. So as we grew older in life, he wanted to follow that passion. Obviously got into some gaming and other stuff and wanted to follow what we had started with a lot of the board games and whatnot. Because when we were kids, it was PlayStation, N64, so we played a lot of RPGs. I remember one summer, Skies of Arcadia and Final Fantasy Tactics an entire summer, and it was still some of my best memories. For the bow and the quiver, we're going to be doing some Dryard Bark. You can also probably put those on the arrow shafts as well. So unfortunately, I didn't follow in his footsteps. I always wanted to, but life had another calling for me. So this is my way to help and give back to my true passion, which is art, painting, board games, and whatnot. For the arrow feathers, we're going to be doing some World Bears Red. You know, starting off up on your own company is not easy, especially when you are starting from the ground floor up. So any support to HOCK RPG before the actual board game releases would be absolutely amazing from anybody. Plus, you'll get 1 of 100 serialized miniatures. And finally, for the metallics, so the buckle, belt buckles, stuff like that, we were doing some Iron Warriors before we put on our washes. Yeah. All right, for our washes, we're only doing 2. For all of our skin tones, we were doing some Reikland Fleshshade. Yes, put that in the middle of that thing wide open. It doesn't seem very tactically sound to have that much stuff pouring out the front, but man, does it look good. You know what I mean? And then for all of our browns, we're going to be doing some Agrax Earthshade. Let this dry real quick, and then we will move on to the highlights. We'll talk some more about the history of how I believe HOCK RPG started, what it was like growing up playing board games, doing Dungeons and Dragons, and a little story time with Nerd Knights. All right, for the skin, I'm going to say what we're going to do for the next 2 parts. We're going to do a reapplication of Cadian Fleshtone, and then we are going to do Kislev Flesh on top of that. So, when we were a lot younger, like I had said, HOCK RPG's mother was our DM for our Dungeons & Dragons campaign. At the time, our grandparents owned a small cabin, and we would spend a lot of our summers up at that cabin. Well, it just so happened to be at that one point in time, the entire family was up there for 4th of July or something, and we did a campaign, did it for multiple days, and I can still remember this very vividly. My sister was playing a cleric. My other cousin was playing a warrior. My other cousin was playing a thief, and I was playing a wizard. And we got to a point where we were on a spaceship in the middle of space, and my cousin had lit off a fireball, which then imploded the spaceship, which then caused us all to die. I remember this because I was so upset because this is like the 4th area we're in on this campaign, and I thought we were going to go on forever, and we died. All of us. That was my first lesson in life of death and feeling sad about death because my character, my thief, or my wizard that I had started was dead. And I still remember that to this very day. And I wish I could bring that wizard back. All right, for the hair, we're going to highlight the strands that you can see in Night Questor's flesh. You know, a lot of the memories growing up and playing board games are some of my fondest. Even like I had mentioned, playing Warhammer and getting beat to living crap with goblins against Bretonia. Just fascinating. I loved it. We had played other games too as we got older, but those were some of the fondest memories of my life. For the green parts around those that bust, you know what I'm talking about. Some Loren Forest. You know, you don't. Someone once told me you don't know how good memories are in the moment because you don't know what it's going to be like later in life. And when you look back at those fond memories of doing things with your family, playing board games, those far outweigh the bad memories of, you know, negative things that have happened in your life. And I always try and draw from those because it made me so happy to play board games with my family and, you know, create art. And that's kind of why I do this. Now, I don't know anybody personally on here. We're just going to highlight a lot of those brown areas with some Hobgrot Hide. But I feel like by doing these, even if nobody watches or one or two people, and it brings them joy and it brings them happiness and it brings them some peace in their life, this is why I do it. You know, I hope that it could spread and make people happy and not have to worry about the hard things in life, and you can calm down and just relax and paint some miniatures. For the skirt on the bottom, we're going to use some Ushabti Bone. I know it looks really bright going on, but it does dull out. So very, very thin painting strokes here. So that's why we started this channel, and well, I mean, I did. And I hope it continues, and I hope I can continue to bring, even if it's to one or two people, the joy of painting and painting along with me and enjoying, you know, the fond memories of painting miniatures and playing board games with your friends and family and enjoying life, because there's a lot of things wrong in life. But for those few moments of joy that we can play and have fun and forget about everything, to me, that's worth it, and to spend the time doing this for everybody. I'm coming down to the wire. Only a few things left here. We're going to take some Umbral Umber. You could redo Dryard Bark. You could do some Thondia Brown on here. You could do Questors Flesh on here if you really wanted to. We're just going to highlight up that bow and quiver. So I hope my stories did not bore anybody, and I hope that some of you, if you have similar stories, please share them with me. I love talking to everybody on here and, you know, really getting to know everybody that, you know, that communicates. Obviously, it's not a very big channel, but a few people that do communicate, I really appreciate you guys, everything that you guys do. For the fletching, we're going to be doing a little Evil Sunz Scarlet on there. We do have 2 miniatures left in this game before we're done with the serialized set. I think he's down to last 70 or something. I don't know. Obviously, it's a brand new company, so not a lot of people know about it. For the belt buckles, we're just going to be doing some Runefang Steel, or you can do lead belcher, whatever you got. So yeah. Then your favorite part of paint the miniature, because you means you're done, is the rim of the base. Abadon Black. And that's it. That's all she wrote. Pretty simple, obviously. Obviously, there's one focal point on this miniature. I think we all know what we're looking at here. I think it turned out pretty good as being the focal point for being a miniature. Yeah, yes. Again, so I want to say thank you to all my YouTube members. Thank you for anybody who watches, all my subscribers, anybody who shares this. Again, this is a very small company. His full game will be coming out hopefully later this year. Does require a DM for all you D&D guys and girls out there. But, so yeah. Got 2 more miniatures in this. We got a bunch of Warhammer coming up. We have Aeon Trespass Odyssey this Wednesday. And then we have Chronicles of Dronegar. I mean, we got a ton of stuff. I just need to quit my job so I can just pump out 5 videos plus a week. That'd be awesome. Anyways, I love you all, and I will see you on the next one. All right, paint out.